Welcome to Seven Figure Builder, all real estate development and new construction. My name is Arthur, the developer. I have done over 1,000 lots to date, developed specifically for the new construction game. And this here is Ruben.
Guys, I'm Ruben the Builder. I've built over 250 homes in the past 5 years, and I've found a passion in the owner-builder game. That's where I encourage everybody to start. We're excited to drop a ton of value on step number 4, which is the permitting process. People get overwhelmed by this, but it is so simple. Let's get into it.
In the permit process, again, typically you have a few people involved. The number one person involved is going to be your architect. Now, if you hired a builder and the builder is doing this for you, more than likely they're going to upcharge you on that permit process through the architect. So I recommend you have direct contact with the architect. The second person involved or the second party involved would be the city or the county, depending on your jurisdiction. Typically, those are the two people that you really need to move this needle forward. But in order to get the plans bundled up and submitted, you're going to have to work with your builder as well. And Ruben the Builder got a ton of detail on this. He's going to explain the process of what you need in order to submit your full plan set.
Yeah, guys, so what's most important, right, is you have your plans, you have your engineering for those plans, whether you want to use prescriptive code or not. That's essentially like a set of pre-engineered rules that you can follow, or you can hire your own structural engineer to actually, like if you could imagine, the architect draws the box and the engineer says, all right, this needs to be 2x6 walls or 2x4 walls or what have you. So he gives the details oftentimes. There's a little bit of overlap there, but that's just a very high level overview. And then you're gonna need a site plan. So a site plan simply shows this is what the lot looks like and this is where the house is positioned on that lot. So that's very important. And then you're gonna have a lot of times some kind of energy efficiency sheet. So they're going to ask you, what's the square footage of your space? How many cubic feet do you have to heat the space? What type of furnace? What type of water heater? Are you using natural gas or using electric heat? So all of those things are very important because they want to make sure that you're not, number one, undersized on the furnace, or maybe oversized and not energy efficient and using way too much energy than you need. You're gonna have to pick out what type of windows are you gonna install, double pane, triple pane, how much heat can they hold. If you could imagine at a high level overview, you have like a cooler box, right? And that's your home. And how long can it hold temperature? Are you gonna use, R15 insulation in a 2x4 wall, R21 insulation in a 2x6 wall? Sometimes people use rock wool that can vary up to an R23. The good news is your architect has submitted plans often, and there is a standard set of typical insulation that people use, windows, type of furnace, water heater. And so you'll just need to pick out those options, but all of that is in that process.
Glad you said that last part because you lost me at structural engineering. So you can tell this guy's the builder. From what I would say, my perspective is you have the architect will coordinate with the structural engineer. If they say, who's your structural engineer? I always say, do you have somebody that you use? If they don't, you should probably fire that architect because they have to be working with some sort of structural engineer. They're going to coordinate those two. And then when you're going to the submittal process, the architect's going to ask you, what are you doing for your energy code, right? Me as a developer, I'm not a builder. I go, builder, what do you want to do for the energy code? What's most efficient? Then I go back. The parties that would be involved would be if you're a GC yourself, let's say you do remodel projects, but you're not in the build game just yet. You would have your window supplier. They're going to help you out with that. You would be, I don't think you would need
a window schedule.
So window supplier is going to provide the window schedule. Then you would have your HVAC contractor involved. Would you need your electrician or plumber?
For residential, no, but HVAC, yes. For energy efficiency nowadays, they're harping on that for sure.
Cool. So you need your HVAC contractor, your windows supplier, your architect, all involved.
Yep.
If you are the builder. If you're not the builder, I'm not. I just bring, hey, builder, here's my plan set. What's the most efficient thing I will do? He will do that for you. So don't get overwhelmed with all of this. If you're building your first home, all you need is the architect who will coordinate with the structural. and he'll coordinate with the city jurisdiction. And you need your builder, 2 people. The builder will coordinate all the energy code. We'll make sure you're doing everything right. We'll understand what are you going to be doing for the storm facility, for all of the erosion control, everything that's involved in the build. But you don't need to know all of it. You don't have to be that expert. Is that correct?
Yeah, so to keep it super simple, I'm building my 4th personal house right now. Architect asked me, hey, would you like me to handle all of your submittal? I said, how much is that gonna cost? He said, roughly $500 to $1,000. So by me explaining all of that in detail earlier in the video, just understand that someone can do all of this for you for a service fee of $500 to $1,000, depending on how many corrections you're gonna go back and forth in that permitting process. But ultimately, me as a builder, if I can save that money and spend an hour of time putting that sheet together simply by coordinating those pieces of the puzzle together, I'll do it.
Great. Now you got this beautiful bundle. You're ready to submit. How do we, compared to other people, typically get our permits done 2 to 3 times faster? And what are we doing that's different than somebody else?
Yeah, so we simply call it master coordination, or AKA adult babysitting. It's really simple. Architect gives you a full submittal package. Either architect will go ahead and submit it to the city for you, or you log into the city portal. For you, most of everything is online nowadays. Maybe besides St. John's, Indiana, you can walk in and walk out with permits in one day. But you have the submittal package, you submit it to the city. They give you a target review date, typically 2 to 4 weeks from the time that you submitted. They give you back some kind of corrections. Now you take those corrections and it says, show the setback here. We would like the storm facility to be bigger, the rain drain, the dry well, the water that gets collected by your gutters needs to go into the ground somewhere, collected and dispersed back into the ground. They'll give you those kind of corrections and essentially to-do items. And you have to go back to either the architect. If there's some kind of structural correction or to-do item, you go to the structural engineer, he fixes that. You get back those fixed plan sets and you submit them back. Oftentimes, you might only have one, maybe 2 or 3 reviews, back and forth a little bit, but ultimately your job is to make sure that there's the least amount of time in between those corrections.
Architect gives me a date. Let's say we've got everything bundled up. I said, architect, when are you submitting the plan set? I'll be submitting the plan set on Thursday. Great. I follow up Thursday morning. Hey, just want to confirm you're planning to submit. Responds back, yes, I've submitted it. It's in the city. I go to the city. I put an email together to the planning or the permitting department. Hey, city, address 123 Main Street. No, that's not the address, but you get my point. We submitted the plan set today. Just want to confirm that you've received this. There's 2 responses. 1, yes, we received it. Or 2, don't know what you're talking about. If they say don't know what you're talking about, forward, architect, I thought you submitted the plan set today. Just want to confirm what happened. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to hit send. The issue is most of the time what happens is people don't do that right there. And they think the plan was submitted. 3 months later, you wake up in the morning and go, oh man, aren't my plans supposed to be approved? Hey, architect, are my plans approved? Oh, let me check with the city. Well, he goes back to the city, finds out they were never submitted because he never hit send. You lost 3 months. Now he's either gonna lie or tell you the truth and tell you, hey, I just didn't hit the send button. That's not it. You're not done there. You could have saved 3 months right there, but once he responds with, oh man, I'm so sorry I didn't, I've just clicked the button, it's submitted. I go back to the city and respond, hey, I just followed up with the architect, he now just submitted, can you double check that it came through? City responds with, yes, it did. Here's the next key factor, checks and balances. Great, thank you, the city. I wanted to find out, what is your target review date for the first review, corrections or approval? They'll respond back with, oh, our review date is gonna be the 21st of this month. Perfect. I go back to the architect. As you can see, master coordination, right? I go back to the architect and say, hey, the city is planning to get the review done on the 21st of this month. Can you put it on your schedule for the 22nd? Why am I doing this? Because an architect could be 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 weeks out. I'm putting him on schedule to save that timeline, because imagine I collect the corrections on the 21st. I send it to the architect the 22nd and he says, appreciate you sending that. I'm 8 weeks out. 8 weeks, shoot, that's a long time. And so now he's on schedule. He'll submit the next day and he's running on it. So that's how we coordinate this step by step and make sure it gets done efficiently. People I know in our city get permits done in 6 to 12 months. We're getting them done in 45 to 60 days.
2 to 3 months. Big difference.
Because we are super efficient.
Yeah. So to finish that off, once you have gone through that correction process, whether that's 1 review or 4 reviews, right, and you've done a good job fixing those corrections and resubmitting, you're going to be in a final stage called RTI, ready to issue. Or in City of Portland, it's called pre-issuance. So now the pre-issuance stage is the city double checks that everybody signed off on their reviews. Now you can pay for your permits and break ground. This is a very important stage because in order to get an owner builder loan, for example, you need to have the permits in ready to issue status in order to get that loan in place. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you liked it. Actually, put a thumbs up on it. This helps us get out there and more people watch these videos. So please like and subscribe, and we'd love for you to continue this series. The next one is really fun. Step 5, financing.
And guys, we would love to be involved in your build process, whether you're doing your first home, your second home, or you're already a seasoned builder. Maybe that's looking to get more lead flow on lots. We have a community channel that you can be part of, and we have a ton of tools, resources, plan sets. So especially when you're in the plans and design and permitting process, we share over 35 plan sets that we've built today with our students. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us at 360-216-0323, and you can just say, hey, I'm looking to be part of that education or mentorship or community channel, and we are super excited to help you crush this game.